Today we're doing a lesson on solving two-step equations. As usual, there is a video guide to go along with this lesson. If you haven't printed it off, please pause the lesson, go ahead and print off the video guide, and then come back because I'm going to be doing those examples with you today. Now we've already gone over one-step equations. The main thing that I want you to remember from one-step equations is that whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. Now remember, this keeps the equation balanced, okay? So we talked about having just a basic equation like 7 equals 7. And we talked about how obviously 7 equals 7, but if I want to change one of those 7s and I want to make it 4, so I decide I'm going to subtract 3 and I get 4 equals 7. That's no longer an equation anymore, okay? It's not balanced, it's not equal. If I want to keep this equation equal, if I subtract 3 on the left side, I have to subtract 3 on the right as well, which gives me 4 equals 4 and keeps my equation balanced. It keeps it true. Okay, so we are going to be using this concept again today to solve two-step equations. So number 1 on the video guide, we have 4x minus 7 equals 13. Now remember, I like to draw a line through my equal sign. It helps me see the two sides very clearly. We are solving for x, which means my end goal is to get x by itself and a number on the other side, so I know what exactly x is equal to. So 4 and the minus 7 are keeping x from being by itself. Now we need to cancel out both of them. The question is, which one do we cancel out first? Okay? Main thing that I like to remember here is that solving equations is all about opposites. Remember, we cancel out our numbers by doing the opposite. So the opposite of multiplication is division. The opposite of addition is subtraction. We also actually do the opposite of the order of operations as well. So we're going to be working in reverse. Usually for the order of operations, we start with parentheses, then we do our exponents, then we multiply and divide, then very last is addition and subtraction. For solving equations, going in reverse means we cancel out the addition and subtraction first. Okay, so we're working backwards. So that means, looking at this problem, the 4 and the x are being multiplied. The 7 and the x, there's subtraction going on. So I actually want to cancel the 7 first. And order does matter. Okay, you're going to get something messed up if you try to cancel out the 4 first. So that means I want to cancel out the minus 7 first. And we just use opposites, just like we did for solving one-step equations. So the opposite of subtracting 7 is adding 7 on both sides. A minus 7 and a plus 7, those are opposites, so they cancel. I have 4x, that's left over on the left-hand side, equals 13 plus 7 is 20. From here, we only have one number that we now have to cancel, our 4. Again, because the 4 and the x are right next to each other, that's multiplication, so the opposite is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is just 1, so they cancel. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So my answer is x equals 5. So you'll see the steps that we're using are exactly the same as what we learned for one-step equation. We just have to do 2 of them in one problem instead of just 1. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. We have 6y plus 8 equals negative 46. We want to solve this equation for y. Again, we're using the opposite of the order of operations. So that means cancel out addition and subtraction first. The 8 is being added, so that's the one I want to cancel. Instead of plus 8, the opposite is minus 8 on both sides of the equal sign. Again, that's what that line is for, to show you. You need a -8 on the left side of the line, a -8 on the right side of the line. The 8's are opposite, so they cancel. I get 6y equals -46 minus 8. We're going to have to go back to our integer rules, okay? If the signs are the same, that means we add them together. I get 54. Keep the sign of the bigger number, so it's -54. Okay, so we're going to be using those rules of integers again, which is good practice for us. So now I have 6y equals -54. To get y by itself, I need to cancel out the 6. This is 6 times y, so the opposite is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 6. The 6's cancel. I get y equals -54 divided by 6. 54 divided by 6 is 9. The signs are different. Remember, for multiplication and division, if the signs are different, the answer is negative. So y equals -9 is my solution. Number 3, we have -3w minus 7 equals 29. Again, doing the reverse, canceling out either the addition or subtraction. I have a -7 here, so I'm going to cancel out subtracting 7 by doing the opposite. The opposite of subtract 7 is add 7 on both sides. So the 7's will cancel. I get -3w equals 29 plus 7 is 36. My last step is to cancel out that -3. Now remember, even though that's a -3, kind of looks like -3, we are not adding 3 to both sides. This is multiplication. Okay, -3 and w are right next to each other, so that's multiplying. The opposite of multiply is divide. So we're going to divide both sides, and we're going to divide by the exact same number. Okay, just like we did over here. The number was a +6. I divided by that exact number, a +6. Over here, I have a -3. I'm going to divide by the exact same number, -3, on both sides. My -3's will cancel. I get w equals 36 divided by -3 is -12. The signs are different, so it has to be negative. And that's our answer. All right, one more like that. Number 4. We have -10m minus 6 equals -86. First step, cancel out the addition and subtraction. Okay, I have a subtract 6 here, so I need to cancel that first. The opposite of subtraction is addition, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So they cancel. I get -10m equals -86 plus 6. The signs are different, so I'm actually going to subtract those two. Keep the sign of the bigger number, so -80. After that, I only have the -10 left. Again, this is multiply. They're right next to each other. So the opposite would be divide. So I'm going to divide both sides by -10. The 10's will cancel. -80 divided by -10. Well, 80 divided by 10 is 8. And if the signs are the same, our answer will be positive. So it's +8. At this point, I want you to try the next two problems, 5 and 6, on your own. So go ahead and pause the video and then come back and we'll take a look at the answers.